Only one day, if they go and shave their hair, they will become mentally imbalanced.
What?
Because
Why we're bald, why we both shave our heads.
the best ways to lose weight is worry about something. You know that, isn't it? Yes or no?
We are…
I
Sorry. I know, but I changed my mind.
Let's do it.
I'll be less attractive when I shave my head. You know, I will be more… like, people will be much less interested in me, so I can…
Sabina's husband, yeah, I can tell you that sometimes, yeah, she gets a little kooky sometimes.
You ready for the video?
We are ready!
Awesome. Conscious practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Sabina.
And Roger?
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
How shaving your head can raise your energies.
My name is Vish. I'm an aspiring yogi, love all things wisdom, meditation, and yoga based. Super grateful to have Roger and Sabina on the show. Want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Sabina. I am from Germany. And this is my husband.
Roger, and I'm from Canada.
And we have a YouTube channel called Raise the World Project now.
Yeah, and this is all about raising our frequency and energy and our consciousness as much as we possibly can in this lifetime and inspiring others to do the same.
Thank you all so much for being here. Really grateful to have you. You all please check them out. They make similar content and really cool wisdom reactions as well. So all their stuff will be down below. So Roger and Sabina, have you all heard of Sadhguru before?
Oh yeah, we watch his videos all the time on our channel. So super big fans of Sadhguru. We love everything he's doing for the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, like we were familiar with him for a few years, but we only started really diving into his content in September.
Yep.
When we started reacting to his videos, and yeah, we fell in love with him very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I actually
Learning a
relate
lot.
quite a bit with that. Also just started watching his videos for fun and then very much got captivated by him. So very much connect with that. So before we start the video, I'm curious, Roger, Sabina, why do you think Sadhguru is suggesting that shaving your heads could be raising your energies?
Well, honestly, just thinking about it off the top of my head.
I love that.
Yeah, possibly has to do with maybe renunciation, right? So kind of freeing yourself from materiality and not looking to enhance your appearance so much. You're kind of letting go of the glamour or the appeal of not having a full set of hair. I'm not too sure. But maybe there's an intention behind it that would help. Not too sure.
Yeah, what he said.
Beautiful. That was honestly a lovely answer, and I'm super curious about what Sadhguru is going to say. But before we start the video, we'd also love to hear what you all think. Yes, that's you watching right there, about why Sadhguru is suggesting this. Let us know in the comments down below. And with that,
Let's get into the video.
If you suddenly remove this hair, then you will see the energies will move in that direction. If you activate the two chakras which are above the physical body, it's a phenomenal possibility. It also makes your physical body little fragile.
wow,
Fascinating.
fragile, that is interesting. That's an interesting question.
Now, we've spoken plenty about this, but anyway, if you prune this tree today, the tree will focus its energy towards the area that's been pruned, and you will see, suppose you prune this part of the tree and don't prune that, you will see in this part of the tree, the number of leaves that will come out in the next 15 days or a month is much, much more than in the other part of the tree. Have you noticed this? Yes or no? Because now that this is pruned, the tree directs its energy in that direction. The others it will leave and direct this way because here the leaf must come back. The same happens in your body. If you suddenly remove this hair, then you will see the energies will move in that direction. So people who are doing certain type of sadhana want that to happen. So people don't just shave their head whenever they feel like it. On the darkest night of the month, which is called as the Shivaratri, the 14th day of the moon's phases, one day before Amavasya, on that day they shave because on that day and the Amavasya day and the next day, when the energies are… naturally there is an upsurge of energy in the human system, we want to accelerate that a little more. So on that day it is taken off because there is sadhana attached to that. If there is no sadhana, it won't make much of a difference. Some of you may know that particularly ladies who have never shaved their head in their life, suddenly one day if they go and shave their hair, they will become mentally imbalanced. What? Because excessive energy in that direction they are not able to handle. If already there is a small imbalance, it will exaggerate itself because there is an excess energy movement in the direction. But if it's calibrated properly and there is a necessary sadhana to support it, it works to your benefit. So a spiritual seeker, a sadhaka, who is not only seeking for his spiritual well-being, who is seeking how to become an instrument of a larger possibility, such a person wants to use every little support that is available in nature. So shaving one's head is a part of that. If there is no such sadhana, if that type of sadhana is not there, shearing off the hair has really no meaning as such. And if somebody reaches a state where his energies are really bursting out of his head, if you activate the two chakras which are above the physical body, if those two chakras become active in someone, then we will not shave. In fact, we would like to grow it and tie it up just above that so that it is protected and nurtured. If you don't have enough hair, we will use cloth. You think I'm bandaged or something? Yes, in my leg, but so if there is not enough hair, then you have to use something else. But you will need that, otherwise there will be… once the two chakras above the physical body are on, it's a phenomenal possibility, but it also makes your physical body little fragile. It tends to draw more than it should. And this is the reason lot of yogis die before they're 35. Because once they attain to a certain level of energy, if they don't know all the different aspects of the body, if they do not understand the mechanics of how the human system functions, if you do not understand all the tricks of the Creator, in how many ways He's made this so complex and sophisticated, because sophistication is not just to make it complicated.
Yes, I love
Sophistication means there are more possibilities than simplistic machine. This is a highly sophisticated machine, so once the energies have topped off, then it needs to be protected. If you have thick, long hair, that could be made use of. It's a natural garment. If you don't have, or if you're afraid you will lose your hair, then you dreadlock it. You know the dreadlocks you've seen sadhu sannyasis, It can be done, I won't tell you how, because if you start going around with dreadlocks, that'll not be good. There is a way to get your hair into a dreadlock. So you do that. Or if you don't have that much hair, then you use something else. Garment or a cloth comes in handy. The nature of the body is such, the volume of energy that one neuron consumes in the body, in the brain, is many fold more than what one cell in the body consumes.
Wow.
So, in terms of the physical structure, how the energy consumption is distributed. You can see this yourself. If somebody worries about something, they will lose weight. The best ways to lose weight is worry about something. You know that, isn't it?
Totally.
Yes or no? Because more activity means, more stressful activity in the brain means it'll consume a lot of energy and it will bring down the body's weight.
I'm getting it now.
So, the reason why Hatha Yoga is as important as it is simply to be able to conduct the body in such a way that your energies are well rooted in your physicality before you attempt higher possibilities. If one is not well rooted in his physicality, then higher possibilities will take you off from physicality. Taking you off from physicality means one may become less capable physically or he may leave altogether. Some of the Buddhist scriptures say, Gautama, before his enlightenment, walked like a man. After his enlightenment, he walked like a woman. What they're trying to say is, the body became less. In physically, definitely a male body is little more than a female body. So he became little less. So he lost his manly capabilities and became soft because his energy shifted to a different dimension. That's what they're trying to say.
So Roger and Sabina, definitely an interesting video. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I honestly have not heard him speak about shaving heads before, which was really interesting. But I would need a summary again to really understand what exactly he was getting at. So maybe Roger can quickly.
Yeah, so it sounded a little bit like the devoted spiritual seekers who really want to get into, sadhana and practice of the teachings. There's definitely some possibility of increasing the energy there. I like how he described, with the trees, pruning the trees.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're focusing attention to that part of the tree, right?
Yeah.
And in the same way, so in that scenario, so the leaves blossom more or grow quicker in that aspect because of maybe the attention provided there.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way, so for a spiritual seeker, you're cutting your hair and it's focused on that head area, which is like the higher chakras, and the mental activity. So it's kind of focusing the energy of the body in that area. And then that allows, so for that stage of spiritual growth being beneficial. And then once the chakras are open, the physical chakras he described, then you start to let the hair grow, because there's that difference between, some monks and yogis are totally clean shaven and the others have all these long hairs and dreadlocks, because it seems like after a certain ripening or unfoldment has taken place, then you want to leave the hair alone because it kind of locks in that energy.
Oh wow.
And that for people like Sadhguru, I think he's actually mostly bald on top, so that's why he's wearing a turban, which I never really understood as well, because I see the Sikhs are always wearing turbans.
Yep.
So I don't really know anything about turbans because we haven't really dived into Sikhism too much.
Right.
But I noticed that Sadhguru did. And at first, when we came across Sadhguru, I didn't know, if he was a Hindu or a Sikh, because he's always wearing a turban. And it seems
But he's
like
neither, as we know.
to lock in his energies. So it's very, very fascinating. That was a lot deeper than I expected, right?
Thank you so much. No, I appreciate you, Roger and Stephen, both for sharing your perspectives here. And I've also noticed, when I was looking through your channel, I did realize that you all also are shaven. Would you mind telling us more about why your heads are shaven?
Yeah, Roger, very fast.
Yeah, I could start with mine. So it's not anything to do with what Sadhguru was explaining in this video, sadly. No, for me, it's because I'm going bald, right? So just I got a big bald patch there, and then so it just looks better if I shave it completely. So,
for me, this year is actually my 10-year anniversary of being bald. In 2012, I was volunteering at a nunnery, Tibetan Buddhist nunnery in Australia.
Wow.
And it was also the first time that I was surrounded by Buddhists, by a spiritual environment, and I was just soaking in the teachings, and I got really used to, nuns with shaved heads. And I really felt like I want to become a nun. I want to become a Tibetan Buddhist nun. And so as a sign of renunciation, I shaved my head for the first time in September 2012. And then I tried to become a nun, but it never happened. Not in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. But I was an anagarika in the Thai forest Theravada tradition. And there they actually also shave the head every 2 weeks before one of the moon days, like Sadhguru just mentioned. But yeah, I didn't keep that up. I just shave whenever I feel like shaving. And even though I disrobed again, and I kept it because I like it. I like it simple, and it did not quite work with my renunciation, though, I have to say, because I thought it's like I'll be less attractive when I shave my head. I will be more like, people will be much less interested in me, so I can go within much more easily.
I see.
Actually, the opposite was the case, to be honest. I attracted way more attention. than
Interesting. Okay. That's actually really interesting. I appreciate you all both sharing that, because I'm sure, would you say it's something that your viewers have also wondered? Because I know you all have a great audience too. Is that something people have wondered?
Oh yeah, we get a ton of comments asking us all the time why we're bald, why we both shave our heads. So now it's great. We can send them to this video. Answer the question.
Now you all know.
And some people are worried, like they, are you sick? Do you have, some kind of sickness? Some people love it. Some people don't like it at all. It's like, please grow your hair back. You look much more beautiful then. It's like, it's not about that, But we get all kinds of different comments on that. Some love it, some don't.
Okay, well,
like with everything.
that's super interesting again to hear, because I'm sure we could both relate, people have all sorts of different views. So I think definitely doing what is more in tune with yourself is very important. So it's really cool to see that, Sabina, especially you had this experience with, you said the Tibetan Buddhist place. Now I'm curious, with that being said, would you say that most of what Sadhguru shared with regards to the views behind the shaving the head were in line with your experience with the Tibetan Buddhist area, or were there any differences?
Well, I have to say that pretty much, like, it was the best time of my life at that point, being in that community. And then I shaved my head when I was back in Europe, and from then on, I have to say, like, my path went almost like, everything became like really difficult. I was like in this really blissful heavenly state for months. Then I shaved my head and had these expectations. I have to practice now. I have to be renounced. I have to, it's like, this is it. I have to be enlightened in order to actually benefit all sentient beings. And then, everything became really, really difficult for many years, many obstacles.
Do you think
I don't know how that fits in, but yeah.
Do you think it's maybe similar to what he was saying with regards to, I know it was a very strong statement initially, which was that if females were to do it, it can cause them, maybe without the proper guidance or whatever, they could cause like mental instability. Is that something similar you're saying, or what are you saying exactly here?
Well, I could relate to that. I thought that was very interesting because that's almost pretty much what I experienced. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was incredibly fascinating too. And being Sabina's husband, yeah, I can tell you that sometimes, yeah, she gets a little kooky sometimes. So maybe it's to do with the hair, but also, so going back to the video and what Sadhguru was saying, and then I think maybe I can research that a little more because it's quite fascinating. I'm shaving my head anyways.
Right.
And I do have an intention of being spiritual and benefiting the world and sentient beings, by raising my level of consciousness.
Yes.
So if we incorporate, our head shaving, more in line with the moon cycles and this and that, then we can also incorporate this more, as a spiritual, practice for us. So I thought it was fascinating, and I'm going to look into it more. So it was great.
Yeah, 100%. And would you say that this video has changed your view, Sabina, with regards to, do you plan to grow it out now, or do you think you want to still keep it bald after watching this video? Any changes in views?
No, what Roger just mentioned, I want to incorporate like the days of shaving the head. And but other than that, no. I tried to let it grow once for 8 months, and it just didn't feel like me. I don't know, it just didn't resonate.
Thank you all so much for sharing. Really, definitely interesting stuff there. And I know you'd mentioned renunciation quite a bit, and I wanted to share this perspective, which honestly was very interesting to me. I did a video actually with the Hare Krishna guru from Austin, Texas, and he actually had shared this experience of his. And without getting into too much detail, he basically said that when he was on a spiritual path as well, and it's something I could relate to because I'm sure, as we both, or all three of us know, it's, a huge part of this path, at least what we think a part of the path is, to let things go and not be identified with anything. But then basically he said that on his path as well, he started to renunciate everything, or a lot of things, and then eventually everything. But then he had this realization, which was, if you're renunciating everything, you got to also renunciate renunciation itself. And so it's a very interesting thing, which just really hit home for me. I'm like, wow, that's actually true, but I'm a little more confused now. So what are your thoughts on that kind of statement?
Yeah, so that's getting very deep. And of course, as our viewers know, you might not know so much, but we really dived into Buddhism quite a bit, right? That's actually where me and Sabina met, was in a Buddhist monastery, and we ended up in a 3-month meditation retreat together. And during that retreat, I dived so deep into the teachings on emptiness, right? And emptiness is all about the fact that we don't exist inherently, from our own side or our own power. And that's a big problem, with the ego and ego-identified beings, which is the majority of mankind. That's just the way it is. That's duality. We see ourselves as separate individual beings, totally independent in our existence. But of course, that's not entirely true. We're actually the opposite. We're totally dependent on so many things, right? So we're part of the whole on a multitude of levels and layers, right? So renunciation, when you start to understand those teachings on emptiness, then you can see the other teachings of, the world itself is a magical display. It's like a water bubble. It's like a rainbow. It's like a mirage, right? It's just like a dream, because it doesn't exist inherently as something separate out there, right? So then when you understand that, then you could be renounced in the world by actually being totally integrated and a part of it, right? Which is a part of even why we started Raise the World Project now, was because we're spiritual beings, and we're not enlightened yet, but we know enough
yet
to behave accordingly with the teachings. And these are deep teachings, and these are true teachings, right? So like the Vedas and Upanishads, they talk about the exact same things. So then, so we can do something meaningful and positive, based on the level of consciousness that we're at now, understanding some deeper truths, and then we can bring that into the world. And at the same time being renounced. It's not like whether we get 1 million subscribers and the channel blows up, we have a huge impact, and we help Sadhguru blow up and change the world. Whether that happens or not, it doesn't matter because the whole thing is a dream, right? So we just do the best with our intention, and at the same time we're renounced. So we're surrendering the fruits of our actions, right? Which is teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna states, so you were responsible for the intention and the action, but not the result. So in that way, we're practicing renunciation, right? While being very much a part of the world.
Wow, that was very deep, as you'd mentioned, also very powerful. So thank you so much, Roger, for sharing that experience of yours and also this perspective. Really grateful for you being on the show. Honestly, had a great time just watching this video with you. And want to remind the viewers where they can find you and more about yourselves.
We are on Raise the World Project now, the YouTube channel. So we're doing similar content to Vish. We're watching spiritual videos because our main goal right now as seekers is to learn as much as we can from the authentic spiritual masters and not debate. Basically, there's many sources of truth, right? There's many paths, there's many ways, there's many teachings, even within religions, right? So we got to cut through the divide and the separation, and we can embrace all spiritual teachings and traditions and masters and get down to the root and the core of the teachings. And that's what we're exploring to Raise the World Project now.
Thank you. Please check them out. They're very kind. They're also doing some amazing things, helping to raise the world's consciousness. All of their links and channel information will be down below.
Yeah.
If you have any other video reaction requests, topics, or guests, or even collaborations that you want to do, let me know also in the comments down below. Would also love to hear what you all thought about what I've shared, what Roger and Sabina have shared, what Sadhguru has shared. It's an open platform here. Keep it real, keep it transparent. Let us know your thoughts on the topic itself in the comments down below. With that, make it a great day. Take this joyfully and stay conscious. Awesome. Thank you all so much. You did amazing. Perfect.
Thank you, Vish. This was so much fun. We had a blast, and we're looking forward to more reaction collaborations with you. This was such a great time.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. See ya. Stay conscious.